Oh, yesterday, I think it was. Everybody,
Oh, yes.
it caused all this outages and shit. People couldn't open their doors, turn their heat on or off, use their air conditioners. Anyone that was using like the Nest home,
Yeah.
all the people that had smart home devices, well, all their devices suddenly became very, very dumb.
Yes, I did actually read about that. I didn't get through the whole article because I ended up getting distracted by other things. But
I,
yes, I did read a bit
I
on
thought
that.
that
That
was
is
just,
kind of entertaining.
I thought that was just hilarious. They couldn't open their doors. Which is, the exact question I asked when you moved into this new smart apartment building. What
Yeah.
happens when the power goes out or when the computer networks go down? But
Yeah, well,
fortunately, yours actually works when the power goes out or the computer
yeah,
networks go down because it's not tied into the grid. But there are
it's just a
people,
battery.
yeah, but there are people that have their entire house, like their heating system, their lights, their Ring
Seems like such a
doorbell,
bad idea.
all that stuff tied into the internet through a centralized system. When the network goes down, now they can't use anything.
Seems like such a bad idea.
Yeah. Well, it is such a very bad idea to me. That's why I'm really wary of flying in modern planes because they're not even fly by wire anymore.
Yeah, well, modern planes, modern cars,
Yeah, modern
everything
cars.
modern, man.
Yeah. The ones that'll worry me is when they switch the braking system from actually being hydraulic to something electrical to then individually apply the hydraulics at each brake, at each wheel.
Yeah, it sounds terrifying.
That sounds utterly freaking terrifying.
We already have enough problems with the way brakes are now, man.
Or the ones that so much of their engine stuff is, well, all the electric cars, period, for the most part.
When I was in class, I got to try out the electric car, right? Because they have a couple of electric cars for students to practice on.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even hear it when I turned on. I thought I wasn't turning it on. I kept poking the button, and apparently I was just turning it on and off.
Yeah, well, that's all it is. It turns on and off. It's an electric motor that moves when you apply the gas pedal. I mean, the motor.
Apparently, your alter ego said a full-service spying service installed by yourself.
Full service spine service. Yes.
Yep.
Well, that's what people have done nowadays. I mean, when I grew up, man, it's, hey, careful what you say on the phone. Someone might be listening. Now they go, hello, spying device. Please go do something for me. Please look up my recipe, spying device. No, that's not a spying device. Well, yes, it is, because your voice is sent to a centrally area. In the beginning, it was even more of a spying device. It's still mostly. But in the beginning, everything you said was sent to a person who transcribed it to look for errors.
Mm-hmm.
And it's probably still being done that way to a massive extent. So that makes it a massive spying device. And not to mention those speakers can listen to you anytime and anytime they want. As proof by my iPad, which I haven't gotten around to shutting off the crappy Alexi thing. Because it pops up every once in a while because it hears a keyword.
Yep. You can actually uninstall the things that make it work. It warns that your phone may not work the way it's meant to work, but really all it does is disable the ability for all of the automatically installed things to not work.
Yep.
I did that to my phone, and it doesn't like me very much for it, but at the same time, I never have to worry about the thing popping up.
Oh, yeah.
I removed its brain.
Let's see if we have some better stuff here, or we can just continue to root for Team Murphy. Everything seems to be working.
Squirrel!
That works all right.
And it's not crazy loud this time.
Don't ask, man.
Oh, I mean crazy loud for me.
I haven't touched a single knob since the last show.
And then it should be totally messed up.
Yeah. Well, like I said, man, I'm tired of, fighting against Murphy. I'm just gonna root for him now. It's like, go Murphy, go. Let's see what you can do for us today. All right, so everything seems to be working at the moment. And we are up and running. We are about to have a very big shoe.
A very big shoe
A very
or
big
show?
shoe. It's a very big shoe, man. It's a shoe. It's a big shoe. Big shoe.
But I don't like clowns.
Oh, well, too bad. Nothing wrong with clowns.
They're creepy.
Yes, they are. That's what makes them very entertaining, is that they're creepy.
I think I finally figured out what it is about clowns that creeps me out so bad.
Oh, what is it?
The makeup that they use on their face, it turns their face into not a human face, but the thing is moving like a human. It's like seeing a doll move like a human on its own.
Well, that's probably what it is.
I think that's why they creep me out so bad. I don't think it's actually the like clown thing itself. I think it's the makeup that makes it look like it's a doll.
Yeah, it could very well be. I hear that clown makeup's good for helping if you put it on in camouflage type patterns, it messes up facial recognition.
Not surprising.
Or if they draw extra eyeballs on the forehead or something. I've seen some of this interesting stuff about how to defeat facial recognition.
So, I wonder how well it would work for a woman to simply put on a fake beard.
No, because the problem is a lot of facial recognition stuff now is actually measuring the eyes and the ears. Eyes, ears, and nose is what it measures. Eyes, ears, and nose. Because while your ears get longer as they get older, the distance on your head pretty much stays the same your entire life. Even when you get fat, it's still there, still the same. The eyes stay the same distance, even when people get fat, even when their face gets all fat and blubbery.
Okay.
The eyes are still in the same spot. They're just sunken down and behind layers of fat. So, and the eyes, ears, and nose. They're the three things that don't really change on your face. Your nose gets a little bigger.
And sunglasses.
Yeah. Your nose gets bigger as you grow because your nose continues to grow just like your ears.
Yep.
They just grow very, very slowly.
Which is nice. Because if they grew as fast as your hair, man, we'd all have noses like Pinocchio.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, hair grows pretty fast, man. Mine's come out along quite nicely after 2 years of not cutting it.
I have to trim the kids' hair, though, because I don't know what it is, but kids always seem to... kids always seem to kill the ends of their hair somehow. They always need a trim on their hair every 6 months or so.
Yeah.
What is it about kids? Like, do they just...
They grow faster.
Is that why their hair, like, dies at the end? Because they grow faster?
Probably. Who knows?
Could be.
I have no idea. I've never bothered looking into it.
Could also be the fact that just about every kid likes to burrow into blankets and pillows and read a book or something.
Could be. Could very well be. All right. It is time for some good music, bad singing. Take us up to showtime. right or wrong. I ain't no Texan dancer, all move it right along. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Junkie and the jigger just seen who done the crime. Captain pulled the trigger, guess who's doing time? They went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, is he yours or is he mine? Don't claim to know your story, don't even have my own. In our search for glory, gone with them sacred rules of old. Went missing down Highway 49. Devil's at the crossroads, sitting doing time. Devil's at the crossroads, Joker's doing fine. Just sitting doing time. There we have it. It brings us up, and it is showtime. It is time for us to get this little show on the road. So let's get going. Off we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for WordPress plugins A to Z, not Z.
Hooking the big WordPress plugins. It's episode 540, and we have plugins for Shortcode rumbles, multi-countdown, restricting users, blacklisting, Karen's dark mode, Vaptcha, and ClassicPress options, all coming up on WordPress plugins from A to Z.
WordPress. It's the most popular content management and website solution on the internet. And with over 80,000 plugins to choose from, how do you separate the junk from the gems? Join us for a weekly, unrehearsed conversation about the latest and greatest in WordPress plugins. This is WordPress plugins from A to Z.
Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be hiding out there on the globe today. Coming to you direct from the brewery overlooking beautiful Victoria, British Columbia, Canada. I'm John Overall, and with me is the ever lovely
Amber overall.
And we have a great show for you today, of course. Right off the top, couple of quick things. Don't forget, you want to stick around the end of the show for the Q&A segment with Amber. And for those of you listening on the podcast, you will want to slip over to the YouTube version where you can catch the other half of the Q&A segment. Also, everyone, welcome back to the Christmas season. It is December, the holidays. Time to kick back, relax a bit, or go full hog wild crazy, whatever your favorite is. It is a great time. One of the big things to do, remember your families. This is the time when everyone tries to remember their families. Remember yours, no matter what you might be having up there. At any rate, it's time for me.
Please, can everybody be
Oh,
quiet?
wrong button.
Thank you for sharing, John. Now get down from that soapbox.
This is number 47 of 52 episodes for 2021. Only 5 more episodes until number resets and we go back to episode 1 of 52. I've been thinking about 2022 and how the number of the year equals 6. Ever feel like a number in life haunts you? Like, I don't know, you find you get that parking stall or that number of apartment, or just keeps showing up in like your phone number and stuff. For me, it's 6. 6 haunts me, but it usually haunts me in 3s. So like I'll go to a store and the only stall available is number 3 parking stall. It's irritating, but also really interesting considering what 3 and 6 actually mean in numerology, which I highly recommend people check out. If you have the time, that is. And if you don't have the time, go and find a way to spend some downtime with family and friends, because like Dad just said, the holidays are coming up and you don't want to miss out on spending some downtime with family and friends. And remember to turn off all that media. You can't properly focus on anything when you have the social media or Facebook or whatever open on your phone or up on your computer screen. Gotta turn it off for a while. Enjoy it. Rinse and repeat as often as needed.
Oh, absolutely. Now, I got one problem here. I got a problem with the number 47. We only have 3 weeks left in the year, and you add 47 to 3, that gets to 50. It's like we're missing 2 weeks here. Or we miscounted the numbers. One of the two has happened here. So we're off a little bit.
We are. It could also be just that it's been off because I've had such an odd year, and I've probably messed up on the counting at some point.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, just thought I'd bring that to everyone's attention. We are, we're only 3 weeks from the end of the year, folks. At any rate, it is time for us to...
Please, can everybody be quiet? Please be quiet. Shut up! Thank you. And now the WordPress news with John.
Amber, because I didn't bring any this week.
Just a quick note there. You said we have 3 weeks till the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, I'm haunted by 3s.
There you go.
3s, and they all equal up to 6.
Yeah.
Okay, so first thing I have is this week's Patch Stack Vulnerability Report. This week's report focuses mainly on the Gravatar Breach in web history. So apparently Gravatar, well actually I'll wait until the next one because I have one specifically about Gravatar, but what these guys do is they actually go into an explanation about what the issue was. I probably should put that one second actually, but Gravatar essentially says it was not hacked after the I have been pwned service notifications notifies the users of a breach.
Yep.
So what Gravatar is saying, while dodging questions, is that 72% of the email addresses that received the notification, their emails were already logged with this service, so apparently they just received an email?
Yeah, well, I read a little bit on that one too, because I do use Gravatar. And Gravatar claims they weren't actually hacked. People just stole the email addresses via the direct way of stealing them.
Yeah.
And there's no compromised passwords. So I have no idea. It's a bit of a mess, and Gravatar's dodging everything. And Gravatar's owned by Automatic, so Automatic's dodging it at the real end.
Alright, so the next one I have here is WordPress Vulnerability Report Part 2 from the iThemes.
Oh yes, these guys do a great job of bringing forward all of the great stuff that's got problems each week, or twice a month. Once, twice, sometimes 3 times a month.
So we have 4 on here that we need to pay attention to. One is static, contact form with Captcha, ClickBank affiliate ads, and Canto. What these guys are saying is there are no known fixes for these plugins. It is suggested that you uninstall and delete them.
ClickBank affiliate ads. I seem to remember that one from years ago. I haven't used it in a long time. I seem to remember it for some reason though. Yeah, you definitely want to check this out from time to time to see if there's any that you might be using that aren't being fixed or repaired.
Yeah.
So that you know it's time to get rid of them on your site, because nothing worse than having your site hacked. Oh yes, there is something worse than that.
What?
Not having a backup when your site's hacked.
Ah, yes, that is worse. So I'll do my best to keep bringing these particular reports because they are very useful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they're quite helpful.
Next one I have is Dependency Confusion, which this is actually a very interesting thing that I came across. And what Dependency Confusion is it's caused when the auto update functionality winds up being tricked into updating packages from the wrong source. Not something I've heard of before I read this, but definitely makes sense, and definitely this is definitely an article worth reading over.
Mm-hmm.
It explains it, it helps you understand how to avoid it, and yeah, they go through it. It's very useful.
Yes, this was actually a similar problem that was impacted WordPress a couple of years ago, where there was a way to spoof the update and force people to download files and update their WordPress site that didn't come from WordPress itself.
Okay.
It's a couple of years ago, and yeah, the problem is the vulnerabilities of dependencies all over the internet right now is so scary, and hackers are constantly looking for ways to exploit that.
Oh yeah.
And it's never going to go away because we built the entire internet on dependencies.
Next one I have here is Surge, a new page caching plugin for WordPress with no configuration required. I brought this on here because it's a new thing from WordPress, and it seems to be a very exciting thing.
Mm-hmm.
It was created by a WordPress core contributor, Konstantin Koshinin. Yeah, he's released a new caching page plugin, and it caches the files, or it stores the cache files on the file system using Linux kernel page for more efficient in-memory caching. So it seems pretty cool. Definitely something that I'll be checking out later down the road, but I wanted to let people know about it. It just came out.
That sounds interesting and different. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's definitely something to look into if you're looking for finding. You're still up. And her head is gone. Hello. Hello, hello. Ding, ding, ding. Anybody there? We seem to have lost connection. Where is my... There it is. You go bye-bye? Knock, knock. All right, well, here I am, left hanging then. I will carry on as best I possibly can. All right. The next article here. Next up.
Hello?
There you are.
You reading me yet?
There you are. Can you hear me? Yay for technology.
All right, there we go.
Yay, Murphy. Murphy got a win in. Nice going, Murph. he got a win in.
He sure did. Okay, so what's the last thing you heard me say?
I really don't remember. You had just quit talking about Surge, and we're getting ready to go into the next Gutenberg article, and I was waiting for you to say something, and realized that your head was gone.
I went through the whole Gutenberg thing. Okay, so Gutenberg 12.1. They have a latest release that has improvements, that has a fix for the block appender, layout shift, new global styles features, and improved templates list view, which is very exciting for Gutenberg users out there.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting one. All right.
Murphy is playing games to keep you on your toes.
Well, you know, we got to keep Murphy. Got to keep Murphy happy, man. I'm tired of fighting him. I'm just gonna root for him. I really am, man. I'm buried in it. All right, what's up next? Your last one.
Why you want to look at protecting websites right before the winter holidays? So this is a very useful article that I came across, and what it is it's an article explaining the reasons for upping your security for Christmas holidays, and also goes through some very practical and great tips to up your security for the holidays, because nobody wants to deal with hacking happening on Christmas Day. So.
I like this. 6% of the hackers say Christmas is the best time to tackle a corporate network, while 25% think New Year's Eve is best. I would vote for New Year's Eve because that's when everybody's out partying.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, if you're a hacker, you don't take Christmas and New Year's off.
Well, no, those are the best days, man. So yeah, upping your security before you end up doing that is just, or before we end up getting to the holidays, just it's a good idea, and they give some good tips and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it can cost you a lot if you manage to get hacked. The bigger the network, the bigger the prize for the hackers. So yeah, you definitely want to do that. All right, now you do have a whole bunch of extra articles here, a whole pile of them.
Yep, I have stuff in here. There's some WordPress stuff, like Hello Charts launching something, and month in WordPress. There's also some information about like some hacking and some Microsoft news and Tor being blocked in Russia. There's all kinds of interesting stuff in the extra news.
That must be an interesting trick for them to block Tor.
Yeah, their main site has been blocked.
Oh, their site's been blocked.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. All right, well, I'd have to dig into that one and find out a little bit more of it. I'm not ready to go back down into the deep, dark web yet, but I'm getting closer and closer to wanting to go travel in the dark web again. I got to get a whole nother computer, though.
Oh, yeah.
All right, well, it is time here where we recognize everyone who supports the show with their time, talent, or treasure.
It's time to donate to WP Plugins A to Z.
Absolutely. This is where we like to let everyone know and thank everyone that supports the show with their time, talent, and treasure. And we start off first by talking about the artwork, because as many folks know, we change our artwork each and every week on the show. And for the longest time now, we've had artists submitting that art for our show. And this week's art is Greg's Graphics, and he brought us this really cool, looks like a rainbow trout going after a lure.
Makes me think of the whale wall downtown. I like it.
Yeah, it's really quite cool. I really like this one here, and I do like the way he works with the logos and everything else on it to sort of blend it all in together and create a really good look. So I like this one. So thanks a lot, Greg. We greatly appreciate it. Another great piece of art. Please don't burn out on us, because you're currently the only artist we have. We'd really love some more art from multiple artists to showcase here on the art each and every week when the show goes out, new art gets produced. Those that watch us on YouTube get a sneak preview of the art before it's published, because the little thumbnail I use for YouTube is not the actual art. It's just something that's reflective of whatever art is being used. All right, so thanks a lot, Greg. We greatly appreciate that. And that's the talent part. And if you are an artist, you want to submit it, just go to wppluginsa2z.com/artwork to submit your artwork. We also like to recognize those that support the show with their treasure. And we have a special spot just for executive producers who donate $50 or more per week, where you get an executive producer credit. We haven't had one of those in quite some time. Sooner or later, somebody will come in and donate to us and say, hey, you are worth $50 for all the stuff you do. So, as we say, we're a value for value show. But we do like to recognize and honor the people who come in under $50. There's a few of you out there that contribute 5 here, 10 there. It is really appreciated. It's never going to make us rich. It doesn't even pay the bills. But, hey, it is nice acknowledgement that we are appreciated by those of you who donate that way. So, thank you very much.
Which, just acknowledgement helps out a lot, too.
Yes, it does. And if you want to donate, just go to wppluginsa2z.com/donate. And the final thing we like to recognize is those who support the show with their time. And that time comes in multiple facets, in that we have someone who donates time. Why is his name just Charlie, who donates his time to get our contests up and running. Thanks a lot, Charlie. And then Jess, who is starting to donate some time to help get our photo gallery of all the artwork under control and reorganized. So there's other things the website needs that we never get to, and that would just be time donated to help the show out. And if you're interested, send an email to me, john@wppro.ca. All right. Let's move it along then. Let's go into the segment that everyone waits for on the show. It is our dive into the depths of plugin depravity. All right. First off, we like to talk about ClassicPress if we have anything. Well, I still don't have anything. I haven't worked with ClassicPress in many months now. I just don't have the time. But if you're a ClassicPress user and you would like to see more stuff in this segment, please send it in to us. We will get it in here, showcase it, and even give you all the credit for that. But we do have WordPress plugins today. And the first one I've got for you right out the gate is Shortcodes for Rumble. And if you don't know what Rumble is, you're asleep at the wheel. Rumble is the rapidly up and coming, and it looks like it is going to be the winner replacement to knock YouTube from its throne. It's being acquired by somebody. You know, they're not being acquired so much as they get massive angel investing. They're teaming up with others, and well, they may or may not stay true to their goal. But at any rate, I guess embedding Rumble videos in WordPress has been a little difficult, so somebody came out with a plugin to embed the Rumbles in videos using a shortcode to allow you to get them embedded in there and do some customization such as height and width, etc. for the Rumble videos. So if you're a Rumble user or embedding Rumble videos, you'll want to check out this plugin here to make it a little easier and a little more control to embed your shortcode, to embed your videos using this Rumble shortcode. So go check it out. It's Shortcodes for Rumble, and I give it a 4 dragon rating.
That sounds really useful.
Yeah.
First one I have for today is Blacklist and Whitelist domains for registration. I thought this was a pretty easy, or not easy, really a useful plugin. It is easy to use. You download and activate, then you go into the options, and they have a section for the blacklist, a section for the whitelist, and you can even choose a message that people that domains that are blacklisted will receive when they aren't allowed to get in. So it's definitely a really cool site if this is something that you are in need of. Sorry, not site, plugin. Haven't had enough tea today. Apologies.
Okay, so
and I rate it at 5 dragons.
cool. So it prevents anyone with a URL such as such as Joe at No Man's Land, and you can ban No Man's Land so they can't register any email address with No Man's Land on it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that can be useful. Problem is there's a lot of scammers out there that are constantly changing domain names. You end up with a really big list.
Yeah, but I mean, it is something that can be useful, especially if you have, like, if this is something that you've been looking for.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I can see the uses for it. I've tried using these things in the past. They've had multiple types of these in the past, and problem I found was being able to create the list, because every time I get stuff blocked, they'd come at it with different domains. So I just finally gave up. The biggest thing is coming up with a way to automate it. Have a semi-automated way of doing it, and that's the hard part.
That makes sense.
Because it's just time consuming. All right, the next one I have for you here is display multiple countdowns on a single page or a post. Now, why would you want to do this? Oh, I don't know. Maybe you're just psychotic and you want to have multiple countdown timers on one page. There's reasons for it. I know there's been times where I wanted to have a different countdowns for different things that were happening on the page. So this is a way to do that. And most of the countdown timers you get only let you put it once on a page and have it counting down one single thing. Well, this one here is a little bit different, newer. It allows you to put multiple countdowns on a single page, customize their color, their background colors, their text color, their formats, etc., etc. It's all done using a shortcode format. Requires a little bit of work on your part to get it all set up and doing the things you want it to do. But who knows, maybe there's somebody out there psychotic that wants to count down Christmas, New Year's, Halloween, Hanukkah, all at the same time on one page. You can set this up and let it go to town. Anyway.
Ooh.
Sounds like a cool one to check out if you're into countdown timers. It is display multiple countdown, and I rate it at a 4 dragon rating.
Very nice. Next one I have is Night Mode Karen Lite.
Hey Karen.
Decent.
Karen. Oh,
yes.
sorry. It's just a unfortunate name choice, I'm sure.
Well, it is a decent lightweight plugin for dark mode, although they only really give you the option for on-off unless you buy the premium.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, they have all the other options available, like you can see them, but you can't do anything with them.
Mm-hmm.
I find it very frustrating when they do that, personally.
Yeah, I find it useful because at least you know the content is there.
Yeah, it's great. It's a great marketing thing.
Oh,
Anyway.
it's massively good for marketing.
So, what this plugin does is it'll throw an on-off switch onto the homepage for your visitors, and when it's turned on, though, the back end goes into dark mode too. And it's kind of irritating in the back end because if you're looking at your plugins, you can't see your plugin names anymore.
Oh, so they've messed up the CSS.
But only in the back end. In the front end, it's great. That nothing vanishes on the front end. It's very useful that way.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, if you want it on, if you want to activate it so that the option is on the front page, then you're going to have to deal with dark mode in the back.
Ah.
That is the issue with this that I found. So it's all right. It does work pretty well. If you don't mind the dark mode, it can work pretty well for you. So I do rate it at 4 dragons.
Oh, okay, well, something to check out. All right, the final one I have for you is WooCommerce Products Restricted Users. Now, I saw this one at first and I thought, I don't know, is it useful? And then I started looking at it and thinking about it a little bit and thought, it could actually be quite useful. If you're running a e-commerce store and a membership site and other things going on, you can put up special products that are available only to your members or only to people in your email list who come in and can see these products. You can have specialized sales, making things elite for people, and everyone likes to feel elite and special. So you can use that in this kind of way there to create unique products that are only visible for the select list of users. Now, the problem I did find with this plugin is that you don't get to choose groups. You have to add the users individually to a list that can see the product when you're creating it, which could be extremely time consuming if you've got tens or hundreds or thousands of clients on your website. So it could be very problematic there. The other good thing it could be used for, though, is maybe you've got a special client or a client you're trying to make happy and you want to offer them a exclusive special deal only to them. Then you could set it up and easily add their name to the list and offer them that deal. So it does have uses, but it has the drawback of not being able to work with groups or other things. Other than that, I thought it was a pretty useful plugin. If it had the groups in it, it might have capped out at a 5, but hey, I've got to give it a 4 dragon rating. Go check it out. It's the WooCommerce Products Restricted Users.
Sounds both tedious and awesome.
Yeah, at first I thought, hey, this could be useful for me to offer up special deals for my clients on the tavern website, and then I'm like, I have to add each and every user one at a time? No, I'm not doing that.
The last one I have is Tom's Vaptcha. So this is a type of verification plugin. This supports click, invisible, and embedded, WordPress default login form, register form, lost password form, comment form, and a custom v3.js URL, which I'm not sure what that is. It supports a whole bunch of things, and it's kind of cool. They offer dark and light mode styles, and it has the option to change out the area and language from auto-detect to a different language offered within the list. So you only get what they offer in the list, but they do give you the option to change it. This is completely free and worth checking out if you've been looking around for, or if you've been shopping around for a Captcha thing.
Cool.
I rate it at 5 dragons.
Looks like an alternative to Google's Captcha.
Mm-hmm.
I'd never heard of Vaptcha. So, all right. Well, that covers up our plugins for you. And this is a segment here where we have open for listener feedback and other promo crap, but we got nothing this week. No questions, no nothing. So we're just going to jump right ahead into Absolutely. Contest. We do have a contest running. This is our Christmas giveaway this year, and our contests are powered by the Simple Giveaways plugin. These guys are kind enough to provide us with a version of their pro version of their plugin to run our contests. So thanks a lot to those guys. It's a really great plugin. I've been using it since it first came off the line, and it's done nothing but get better over the last few years. Anyway, the contest we got right now is a 1-year hosting package valued at $350 from johnoverall.com hosting. Yes, I am giving this away. I myself. I know it's so odd sometimes. I'm talking about myself in third person, but I'm talking about my business in third person. Well, because my business is johnoverall.com, and it is a great hosting service. It's a boutique hosting service. Boutique. I'm having some enunciation. Boutique. Thank you. A boutique hosting service where I don't fill my servers with hundreds of clients. I limit the number of websites on each server. I charge a fair rate. I don't have multiple layers of tiers. You don't suddenly get slammed with overage fees and other things. You pay one rate. You get one service that provides everything you need for your website to run at its best performance possible. Go check it out, johnoverall.com. And if you want to try it for free, maybe enter the contest, win the 1-year hosting, put one of your sites on it, test it out, put one of your client sites on it, test it out, whatever you want to do. At the end of the year, you don't want it, you don't pay anymore, you still want it, well, then you got to keep paying. But at any rate, I am giving that away, and the contest is running from now until Christmas Eve, and we may or may not be able to announce the winner on Christmas Eve. We'll have to announce it after, because we're going to do a pre-recorded show for Christmas this year, for the 23rd, because I've got things I got to do. At any rate, go enter the contest at wpplugins.com/contest. You had something to say?
No, I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that wraps that bit up, and we got to cover up a couple of things here before we go into the Q&A segment. First thing covered up is the plugins we covered in this show. Covered up Shortcodes for Rumble, which I gave a 4 to. Display Multiple Countdown, which I gave a 4 to. WooCommerce Products Restricted Users, which I gave a 4 to.
You liked 4 a lot today.
Yeah, well, it's
I
a winning
covered
hand.
Blacklist and Whitelist domains for registration, which I rated at 5. Night Mode Karen Lite, which I rated at 4. And Tom's Vaptcha, which I rated at 5.
Very good. All right. A couple of other quick reminders. There will be a meetup in the New Year's. I will let everyone know when it happens. If you are a developer and you'd like to be interviewed, hey, reach out to me, wpplugins.com/interview. If you got suggestions on plugins, go submit those. wpplugins.com/submit plugin review. All right. This is where we dive into more fun.
It's question and answer time.
But Amber.
Before I get started, if anybody out there has any questions they'd like to have asked on the show, send them in to me at amber@wppro.ca, and we will get them answered to the best of our ability. Maybe we can stump my dad. My first question for you is, what are APIs and keys?
I'm trying to remember what API stands for. Something protocol interface.
I know that when you have certain plugins, you need to get your API and key.
Yes. Well, the API is Access Protocol Interface or something like that. I can't remember what the acronym stands for. And the keys. The keys is basically a public and a private key. And they're issued by whoever's running the API server. And what that does is it allows you to connect to a service and get data. And the key is what allows you to get in there and grab the data and then bring it back to your website. And then the key on your website says, I'm authorized to use this data. And that's what the API and keys are. The keys are what gets you, what allows you to transmit the data back and forth. The API is the actual interface between your website and wherever you're getting the data from, be it another server or another service or even your local website has an API service on it.
Okay. What do you need an API and key for?
Many things. We'll go with the simplest because we were just talking about it.
Okay.
Captcha. If you're using Google Captcha, you got to go get a public key and a secret key when you set it up, and you got to insert that public key and the secret key. The secret key tells the web service that it's your website. The public key is the key that they have on their website, and when you transmit data back and forth, it's transmitted with the public key, but then it's authenticated against the private key on your site. So you need the keys. You need the API keys. It's like the API and key are not separate here. They shouldn't be. They're the same. The API key is what you're talking about, because the API is the service. The API is the protocol, the tunnel, the highway, the wire that connects between websites. That's the API.
Okay, so they're actually one and the same.
Yeah. Well, the API is the service itself. The key is what allows you to transmit it, but they're called API keys because it's the API keys you need to make the API work. It's like a door. It's like having a door with a doorknob on it. You need the doorknob keys to open the door.
All right.
If that helps make it any clearer.
And I have one more question for you.
Okay. Well, you asked the question, then we will run this one out and let our girl take us out. We'll come back and answer it. For those that really, really want to hear all this information, they're listening to the podcast, you got to go listen to the YouTube answer for it.
Mm-hmm. Can one use the same API key for everything, or are there different API keys needed for every, say, plugin?
All right. That is a very valid question, but I'm going to let my girl take us out of here, and we will come back and talk about that.
Reminders for the show. All show notes can be found at wppluginsa2z.com. And while you're there, subscribe to the newsletter for more useful information delivered directly to your inbox. WP Plugins A to Z is a show that offers honest and unbiased reviews of plugins created by developers because you support the show. Help keep the show honest and unbiased by going to wppluginsa2z.com/donate and set the donation level that fits your budget. Help us make the show better for you by subscribing and reviewing the show at Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and in the iTunes Store. You can also leave us a review on our Facebook page using wppluginsa2z.com/Facebook. You can also watch the show live on YouTube, check out the screencasts and training videos, and remember to subscribe and hit the bell to get notifications of all new videos. Follow the show on Twitter at WPPluginsA2Z. John can also be reached at his website, johnoverall.com, or email him directly, john@wppro.ca. Thanks for joining us, and have a great day.
Thanks for listening to the show. This show is copyright by johnoverall.com. So until next time, have yourselves a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you happen to be out there on the globe today.
Alrighty. Can one use the same API key for everything, or different APIs and keys needed for every plugin? Well, you need different API keys for different services. Every service needs a different API key. You can use, like, if you got Google Maps, for instance, Google Maps, you can use the same API key in every plugin that uses Google Maps interface. But the reCAPTCHA stuff, the CAPTCHA stuff, you need a different API key for every website, because you gotta authenticate each website to the API key. So pretty much you need a different key for every service you're going to use. If it's the same service, same plugin, and it works on multiple websites, then you can use the same key. So
Except for Captcha.
well, except for Captcha, because Captcha requires you to register each website.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah. So that's pretty much it on that. We don't really have much going on that one today, and I guess that'll just allow us to gently roll right out of here into my nightmare, which is going to be my program crashed at like the 17 or 20 where you got blocked out. I don't know whether to blame Murphy. Did a wonderful job today. Yay, Murphy. At about the 20-minute mark on the backup recording device, it stopped recording, so I'm going to have to wait until I get the YouTube version of the audio to
Oh no.
to get the podcast up later. So, one of those things. Welcome to technology. It's just not been overly cooperative for like the last 3 weeks.
Well, 2022 should be an interesting year, technologically speaking.
Yeah, it'll be very entertaining. All right, well, let's wrap it up at that. Thanks, everyone, for showing up, and thanks, everyone, for listening this far into the show. Thanks, Hemdian, for coming in. Always fun to watch your comments. And
Indeed.
I'm going to just let the music carry us on out.
These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. A quarter after midnight, and I'm watching the wall. Sometimes I feel so uptight, I just can't sleep at all. Every day doing the same old thing, we're losing time. The weekend comes, we gotta have some fun and rewind. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. I feel the rope tightening, choking off our air. We need to grab some lightning. Friday's almost here. Caught in a web, we need to cut this thread. We're hanging by, half dead to survive. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder. We're gonna make time stand still. We gotta feel the hunger, hanging over the edge just to taste the thrill. These are the days of thunder.
Well, there we have it, folks. And thank you, everyone, for coming out. That's all I got for you now. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Adios, mofo.
Yay, Murphy. You win again. All right.